In this video, we'll learn how to synthesize digital audio. Another way of saying this is we'll learn how to get our computers to make sounds for us. When we talk about synthesized forms of digital sound, there's a few different variations that we can take. Some tools make software-generated audio signals completely from scratch. They aren't based on recordings at all. Other tools use pre-recorded sounds along with some form of manipulation. That manipulation could be something as simple as changing the order of a set of sounds, or something more complex like changing the pitch, the timbre, or the loudness. Some tools adjust the sequence of sounds as well as the tempo or the rhythm of a set of sounds. In general, digital tools for making audio fall into three main categories: synthesizers, samplers, and sequencers. And many of the digital tools that you'll come across for making your own sounds are combinations of one or more of these three. So synthesizers let us make sounds from scratch via tone generation combined with filters, layering, envelopes, etc. Synthesizers can be used to emulate real-world sounds like speech or instruments, or to generate impossible sounds that couldn't really come from something physical. So let's look at a couple of examples of synthesizers. The first is built right into the macOS operating system. So we can take any text, right-click on it, select speech, and then make the computer start speaking.
How to synthesize digital audio.
A slightly more complex example can be found at the Ableton Learning Synths website, which gives you lots of really cool examples of the principles of sound synthesis. So here we can adjust the amplitude, the brightness, and the modulation of a sound simply by moving these sliders. In addition to synthesizers, we can also use samplers. Now, these are tools that play back recorded tones, usually with some form of manipulation. So an example that we'll see here is one tone of an instrument that's pitch shifted to sound like different notes. So we're starting with the sample of a harpsichord note, and we can make adjustments to this number box here to change the pitch. So we could do this numerically or through an interface that's maybe a little bit more musically based, like the notes on a piano keyboard. Last but not least, we have sequencers. So sequencers help us to make sets of control information for activating samplers or synthesizers. So these let us control the rhythm, the sequence, the tempo of sounds that we might hear. Let's look at this example of the pattern sketch sequencer. So this is a tool that lets us set up sequences of different instrument sounds. And this set I'm working with are drum sounds. I can play on my keyboard just using the keys, each of the different samples. So each of these rows is a different drum sound. And in each column, I can mark a box to control when in my sequence that drum sound will play. So if I hit the play button down here at the bottom of the screen, I'll start playing through this sequence from left to right. And you can follow the little moving red dot at the top of the sequencer block to see where we are start to finish in the sequence. So you can see as I click to activate or deactivate different drum sounds at different times, I can change the sequence of sounds that I'm hearing. So those are just a few examples of the basic three set of sound synthesis tools that you have available to you. We also have a nice big list here of different options that offer different combinations of synthesizers, sequencers, and samplers. And I'll post these in the description as well as in this week's lecture notes. Okay, so that is how to synthesize digital audio.